Do you know what CJC 1295 is? Do you know the benefits and side effects? If not, you've come to the right place. In light of this, I'll answer some questions that you might have. To help address those considerations, I've put together a short guide for you on the benefits and the potential side effects of CJC 1295. In this video, we'll talk about the technical aspects of CJC 1295, how it works, the mechanism, and of course, the potential side effects. I'll also cover how often you should be taking CJC 1295, what happens if it's combined with Ipamorelin, which I've taken separately and combined on my own as well. Ready for it? Let's dive in. Now, CJC 1295 has tremendous benefits, and with any medication that you're taking, and when I say medication, you should be getting this from a doctor. I get lots of comments, where should I get it? Well, the best place is your actual doctor. Do blood work. So everybody is going to respond differently, okay? You're gonna have different positive effects and potentially different negative side effects as well. Now, despite its name, CJC 1295 is actually really easy to understand how it works. So let's get right into that. Now, it's classified as a peptide, so which is basically a small chain of amino acids and proteins. Now, peptides work in different ways in your body, and they target specific pathways to encourage a natural response in your body. It's just telling your body, hey, we're turning this on, so let's produce a little bit more growth hormone, for instance. So in this case, CJC helps increase your human growth hormone levels. You're not taking human growth hormone, it's actually increasing that. And this word I can never say correctly, secretagogue, I don't know, whatever, you can put it on the screen there. Basically what it means is putting it in your body will trigger a natural growth hormone response and raise your natural growth hormone levels. Now, it does this by way of signaling to your pituitary gland, which is responsible for helping with growth hormone, to start working more and producing more of that HGH. Now, human growth hormone, like its name, is responsible for growth, but it also has many other functions in the body. Now, after about age 30, human growth hormone starts to decline in the body, and really after every decade, up to about 15% after that. Now, this is a natural process, and in turn can be responsible for decreased energy levels, increased difficulty losing or maintaining a specific body weight, decreased muscle mass, increased struggles to build new muscle, compromised wound healing, skin health, immune system function, and there's a lot of other characteristics of getting older that HGH is responsible for. Now, we don't want to reverse these trends by pumping as much growth hormone in our body or as much CJC or any other peptide in our body as much as possible. We don't want these maximal levels, because too much of a good thing is also a bad thing. Now, CJC 1295 is considered a very safe option to help increase those natural levels of HGH. And for me, I know when I got to be 30 years old, my HGH levels started going down. So I started taking CJC 1295. I've done Ipamorelin and some other things that help with that process, but I'm getting constant blood work and I'm cycling off and on these things as recommended by my specific doctor who's been seeing me for over 7 years with these things. Now, CJC 1295 is an injection form. They don't have a pill or cream, anything right now, and it's done subcutaneously, which means it's underneath the skin. So often it's kind of like in the belly with a tiny little insulin needle. Some people just kind of put it right in the buttocks, right in the meat there. You can do this in your shoulder as well, but it goes into your body and signals to the pituitary gland, let's increase our HGH levels. Now, CJC 1295 is often compounded, and there's these different compounding pharmacies that are able to put these different peptides and medications together, so they're making their own concoctions, if you will. It's often combined with Ipamorelin, so you often see a CJC 1295 Ipamorelin combination, or people taking them separately within the same peptide cycle, if you will. Now, Ipamorelin has a shorter half-life than CJC 1295, which means it's not as effective in your body for near as long as CJC 1295, so that's often why they put these together. So taking that often, before a workout or something, often on an empty stomach, and it can be a good thing to help with those growth hormone levels. Now, Ipamorelin also has the anti-aging benefits, and it does trigger the pituitary to release growth hormone as well. As far as the half-life of CJC 1295, it stays active in your system anywhere from 6 to 10 days. Now, what are the benefits of CJC 1295? Now, people love these benefits because they really help with anti-aging, as I mentioned above, but there's some specific things that it can help with. Now, you're replacing or offsetting any natural HGH deficiency, or you're augmenting circulating growth hormone levels in the body. Boosting energy and metabolism, you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna be able to burn more fat. It's gonna help you feel much more energized, not only physically, but mentally as well. It's gonna take you longer to get fatigued throughout the day and even in your workouts. It also smooths out kind of these peaks and fluctuations in energy levels. So you're more at like this constant level, I don't want to say euphoric state, but you just feel constantly a little bit better throughout the day because we've got a lot of stressors in our modern life. Now, growth hormone also plays a big role in cell regeneration and replication. We want our cells to be able to regenerate, replicate. Maybe you've heard the term senescent cells or zombie cells that are old damaged DNA cells that we want to get rid of by the process of autophagy, which is working out, calorie restriction, fasting. I should do another video on that, but it really helps our cells just become more healthier and divide and conquer. Now, as a result of this dividing of cells, this can also help you heal much faster from your workouts, yes, but also if you have any potential injury, maybe it'll help heal that. It's also known to help with immune function. And of course, one of the main ones, it helps build muscle, lean muscle tissue, harder and harder to do as we get older. So taking CJC 1295 or another peptide that helps with this is one of the main benefits that people are looking for. Losing weight, increased metabolism, I touched on that, that's huge. So you're able to add muscle tissue while losing body fat, often in a calorie deprived state where we are hypocaloric, not hypercaloric. You're able to add that muscle tissue and burn fat at the same time. Also, with this increased muscle tissue, you get stronger during it. So we're able to do more volume, more volume load, whether you're doing like powerlifting or you're doing typical bodybuilding splits where it's, you know, mid or higher range reps. What are the side effects of CJC 1295? Now, this is really being embraced by the anti-aging community because there's really not a lot of reported side effects. I know myself, I really haven't noticed any side effects. Every now and then, after an injection, I'll kind of feel a little flushed and a little red, but really not too much as far as my own personal results are concerned. Now, some of the reported side effects could be something where you're sensitive or soreness in the injection area. I know I get that more if I did that in the belly versus in the glutes. Flu-like symptoms, kind of mentioned that just right after the injection. Headaches, dizziness, nausea, flushing, hives or skin reactions, hyperactivity, or even potentially difficulty swallowing. I haven't really noticed any of these myself, but those are the reported side effects. How do you get CJC 1295? Well, here's the thing, your doctor should be prescribing this for you. There's a bunch of different websites, if you typed in peptides, buy peptides, where they say research only. Okay, so I warn you about getting those things, but if you happen to do, and I'm not telling you to do so, disclaimer on myself here, if you happen to get a research only website with peptides on there, make sure it's third party tested and they have all the documentation for that. The number one place to get peptides should be from your doctor, so they're checking your blood work consistently, and you just don't want to be taking really any medication where your doctor hasn't looked at blood work and your overall risk to reward ratio over several years of seeing. Now, how often should you take CJC 1295? Well, it depends on the prescription and your doctor and what they're doing. Sometimes people are saying that you need to do a 5-day-a-week plan where it's maybe like a Monday through Friday and you're skipping the weekends. That's actually what I do. Some people recommend taking it 7 days a week for a few months on end. And obviously your doctor is going to be the one that determines this. I know the 5-day-a-week thing has been working quite well for me and I feel good doing so. And I take mine right before bed because that helps with sleeping as well. And naturally while you're sleeping is when you have those natural growth hormone spikes anyway. So I take them right before bed and sometimes in the morning. Now, some people also take, you know, once or twice a week. There's different regimens with doing so since CJC has been known to be effective for anywhere around a week's time. So maybe you're only doing once or twice a week depending on the doctor, but there's evidence around all of these different things. And once again, it's person dependent. Now, you may have heard to combine CJC 1295 and Ipamorelin, and why do people do so? As people are taking CJC 1295, it's kind of like a slow drip. It's active in your system for around a week or so, give or take. But by taking Ipamorelin, it has a half-life of a much shorter time, maybe a few hours. So by doing so, you get 2 different pulses, essentially from the pituitary, releasing it on a longer range, right? Where it's gonna stay active in the system, or these kind of short pulses. So taking them combined is often a good thing to do, especially in my own personal opinion, if you're going to do so immediately prior to a workout, within a few hours of a workout, that might have some additional benefits to doing so. And that's it. Hopefully this guide on CJC 1295 gave you enough information to see if you're going to talk to your doctor about it, or if you're doing so on your own prescription, which once again I warn you about. Hopefully this gave you a little bit more knowledge and insight about what's happening and why and how you should use it, or maybe if you should not. I'm Joey Thurman. Thank you for being here. To do the things, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. Please share this video, comment below if you find it very informative, which I hope you do so. Follow me on the other social media platforms at Joey Thurman Fit. Take care and be well.